What's up, guys? It's Boyd here with Fly Fishing Studios, and today we're going to talk about Tanago fishing. So what is Tanago fishing? So Tanago fishing is ultralight microfishing. You use tiny hooks with simple gear, and you catch small species that most anglers overlook. So it started in Japan, targeting Tanago species, but here in Virginia or the States, we are targeting small juvenile sunfish, minnows, brook trout, little wild brook trout, and other small panfish. Basic setup is a telescopic micro rod, Tanago rods, or micro rods. So they come in different sizes. Some can be a little bit longer than others, like this one right here and the following one, and some can be a lot smaller. Traditionally, they are a lot smaller like this. Some can come in pieces that you have to connect, and some will come telescopic like this. They usually come with a cap, and then the telescopic end comes out. There's a line, a fixed line on the tip already, where you tie this in a knot like this. And then when you do your sit-up on your line, you do a surgeon's loop, and you just do the little loop through, and you slide it on there, and it connects. And then that's how you connect, and it's a telescopic. So as you can see right here, and it goes back inside just like that with your line. And then you put the cap back on, and then that way it doesn't come out. Most of them also come with a case to put your rod in. They come in different sizes. Some can be thinner in diameter, some can be thicker in diameter, and that lets you know if it's going to be for a heavier fish or a smaller fish. They also come in different lengths. They're done by centimeters. So this one is 180 centimeters long, while this one is 150 centimeters long. So you can see they're roughly in the same diameter, but this one's actually shorter than this one. So you can also tell what company makes it, and that way if you find a particular one you like, you can keep coming back and purchasing that particular one. So these are just some examples of Tanago rods. It's also going to require a fixed line, so no reel is needed. You're actually tying the line onto the tip of the telescopic micro rod. You're going to use ultra thin line, so you're using 2 to 4 pound micro line and 1 pound tippet when using microfishing. Some people have actually used horsehair and silk in some areas. So now we're going to go over line setup. So how to rig up. Like I said before, don't overthink it. You tie your line directly to the rod tip where I showed you earlier how to tie the knot, and we'll go over that as well. And you place a float or a split shot on it. So I do recommend you going to one of the links I'll provide in the description and buying pre-made rigs. It's a lot easier. They already come with a float. They'll come with extra sit-up. So the sit-up is usually a hook with like tippet, essentially, very, very thin tippet, and then the main line. And then the main line will have a split shot and a swivel. And the swivel is where you would attach your hook line set up to that swivel right there. This one already has one attached to it, so you can see the hook, and it's probably about 2 inches, so they give you plenty of line to work with. So it's about 2 inches from the swivel and the split shot, and they come with indicator dots. So these little indicator beads go under the water when the bobber is on top, and they actually help you detect strikes, because the strikes can be so faint sometimes. by watching the bead move around before the bobber even has any movement on it. The thread is designed to break when bigger fish get it, and that way you don't lose your whole line setup. This is what I was talking about earlier. Is most of the time your rig is going to already come set up when you buy it like this. It's already got that little spot right there, and you just feed line through this little spot right there, and then when you go to attach it to the tip of your rod, okay, it has the knot right there, and then this goes, the loop goes over that knot, and then you pull it nice and tight like that, and it cinches on there. So how to rig up. You don't want to overthink rigging up. You know, you're going to tie your line directly to the rod tip. You're going to add a small float. You're going to put a split shot right below the float, an inch to 3 inches. You're going to use a size 30 or a size 28 fly hook, a very small hook to replicate Tanago hook, or you can buy a Tanago hook, and then you're going to place bait onto it. You can use a dough mixture, you can use micro bait, worms, dried bugs. You can get some of these items at the pet shop. You can also get some of the items at your bait shop. Here are some examples of bait. You can use anything from dough to dry bugs to fresh bait like worms or fake bait. So here are some examples. I like to use these white waxies. You can literally cut, if you cut each section, that's how much you really need for your hook. You can also get bait like this that is already pre-made powder that you can mix up with micro tools and then store it in empty containers like this. Here's an example. So this is some mixed bait right here. So, and then this bait, once you get the bait, to handle the bait, you want to get something, a tool like this. So this is a dirty tool because I use it, I just used it today. So you put your bait in there, and then you push this through, and as you push it, your bait comes out right here. How to start catching microfish. So where to look. You're going to fish your creek edges, the edges of ponds and park waters, shallow water areas, around grass, around structure, shaded areas. So these are all areas of where to look and to start fishing when you're microfishing. How to fish it, you know. You don't want to drop or splash your line in the water. You want to. It's more of a smooth lowering into the water. You also want to watch your float. The fish, they strike very light. Sometimes you don't even notice it, and that's why it's important to have that direct connection, that tight lining, or have that float so you can see the sensitivity of the water and the bobber moving, and you know something's either on it or eating it. And then sitting your hook. So you want to be pretty quick, but you want to be smooth when setting the hook. You don't want to be aggressive. We're not sitting the hook with our whole wrist. We're actually sitting our hook with a flick over wrist. So it's a very quick sitting the hook, smooth motion to sit up. Some various other accessories, like I mentioned before, it's always good to have various size lines in your tackle box. So I have these various size lines in my tackle box to do different rigs for. Also, when catching a microfish, you want to display it properly. So having some type of box like this allows you to fill it up with water and put your microfish in there. and display it proudly. You can also get a tape measure and put it behind the microfish, or place your microfish on here to see what size it is. Another thing would be some hemostats or tweezers or something to help you take out the hooks sometimes. And also a tool like this is a de-hooker. It will screw on your box like this, and then when the fish is on the line, you would sit the fish in here and then bring the line between these two and then pull it, and it will pop the fish off. So we'll go on, we'll do another video on how to use this as well. And then rod tip tip protectors. They make these for tempura rods as well as micro rods. So having a rod tip protector for your rods when you're not using them and you're just laying them and they're not stored will help cut down on repair costs. And then finally, a net. After you catch your microfish, you want to be able to net your fish safely and have it in the water, trying to handle it as least as possible, or to go ahead and collect your specimen in your viewing container like this so you can take a picture. So these are some examples of some accessories. Some examples of Tanago tackle boxes can be something as simple as a 5-gallon bucket with a seat. This is perfect for you to store stuff in, sit on, and store your rods and stuff on the outside. A micro tackle box made specifically for Tanago fishing. With this type of tackle box, you're able to store your rods, extra equipment, and they have rig setups so you can store your rig safely. They also have places for you to put your floats and bobbers and clips as well for any extra packaging. As full-size Tanago tackle boxes. A box like this you can sit on. It's sturdy enough for you to sit on, but also elegant enough to display and sort all your equipment properly. As you can see, I have extra rod storage, my floats, my rig setups, a tray with an additional tray and storage inside, how much you want to spend. A lot, just enough, or just a little. Really doesn't matter as long as you have a small micro rod, line, hook, split shot, and float. Well, thank you for watching this very basic video on microfishing, Tanago fishing. I will also be releasing more videos. We'll be getting into how to tie a rig and how to put on the hook, the float, placement, links, and materials. How to put that on your rod in detail, and then how to cast it. So we will be making a video on all of that coming up in the next couple weeks. We'll also do a video on budget-friendly things you can do for microfishing or Tanago fishing. Like I had mentioned before, you can use the tip of an old cane pole or the front of an old pole that maybe the rest of the rod is busted, and you just need that first 3 feet of that rod, and then we'll tie up some fixed line, some tippet, and essentially get all our materials just from a simple bait shop. I will also put the links in the description above where you can find some of the micro rods and Tanago materials and microfishing equipment, just so you can start your Tanago or microfishing experience today. If you have any questions or comments or things you want to talk about, feel free to reach out to me. DM me, put a comment in the box below. But most of all, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. And as always, good vibes and tight lines.